Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. Joining me today is Skyzo. How you doing, buddy?
Hello YouTube, I'm doing well.
Perfect. And as you can see, we've got the Master's Flute after resolving Sten's Arc in High Fort. That will allow us to communicate with the people of Melodia, since they can only communicate via music. And yes, there are actual real-world languages which communicate only through sound. Surprise, surprise, humans really are amazing. And hopefully we will get that therapy pillow without issue. Knowing this game though, I don't know, nothing's ever that simple, but we will see.
Alright, it's interesting enough.
Uh-oh. The Queen has a weight problem, Skyzo. Bummer.
Of all the things that this game would... What? Of all the things that could happen in the way, like... This is not something that I expected.
Expect the unexpected with this game. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to solve this Queen's weight problem so she doesn't die, and that's gonna be our end for getting the therapy pillow. And our first step to doing that is finding Gedd, the diet wizard. So let's get ourselves equipped, make sure that Ryu has an empty inventory slot to get 25 preemptives on every encounter, and go up and a bit right to find the Mount Maori.
Right, so is the Queen cursed, or, like, what's going on?
We don't know the details yet, but you'll see. You'll see.
I mean, I'm not sure why she couldn't just go on a diet.
I think it's because it's so extreme now that she can't move and she's literally gonna die.
Well, then just stop feeding her, then.
Oh. Well, you know, queens, am I right?
Yeah, I guess if she would... Like, if she was asking all the time, then I guess I couldn't really refuse since she's the Queen, so...
Anyways, make sure you have a woman in your party, because this guy will only talk to ladies. He is that much of a drunken lech to where he just turns away men completely.
Wow, that's very straight of him.
Indeed. Actually, there's something funny about this event, too. Have I ever told you that Aspara has a mushroom girl form if you fuse her with Sesso the water shaman?
No, I don't think so.
Well, she does. Like, she goes from a plant-looking thing to this very cute, anime-looking mushroom girl with pink hair and everything, and even poses in this really feminine way in her official artwork. Because there's actually official artwork of all the fusion transformations in this game. They went the extra mile with it. So, if you present her to Gedd, Gedd will look at her and get really confused.
Right, but he still offers you, like, whatever he does, right?
You know, I don't really know. I should test that, huh?
Maybe.
So, yeah, at the very least, though, I know that Lin and Nina work. I'm not sure if Dees works. I think maybe he looks at Dees and decides she either looks too old or she's like a snake thing, and, you know, that would be awkward. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that.
Then again, nothing in particular ever seems to stop the guys in the Breath of Fire series. Not many of the games. Interspecies romance is sort of a staple of it. But yeah, just imagine being so much of a drunken lech that a kingdom full of women will banish you to an island despite having diet powers.
Wait, he has diet powers? What does that mean?
He's the diet wizard. He just zaps you with some lightning and there you go, you're thin as a toothpick.
What? He was like 10 steps away though.
Yeah, but he was across an ocean, so that's kind of a problem. I also like this line. Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah, that's the last thing he wants to do to the queen in her condition. Ugh. Uh-oh. He's saying something's bad, Skyzo. A malevolent force at work in the queen.
So, she is cursed.
Yep. And it's not one of those kiss her on the cheeks and she's cured kind of curses either, no. She's being possessed.
What?
So, you know how Sten mentioned when we were fighting MC Tusk or the Ringmaster where the people had weaknesses in their souls and that opened them up to demonic possession? Same with Trout and how greedy he was.
Yeah, and I guess her prince's weakness is her diet, I guess.
That and the fact that she's a self-centered brat, according to Gedd.
Is she even conscious? I don't think she said anything, right?
I think she has. I think she just says something like, "Ugh, I'm still so hungry." Ugh. So nothing particularly interesting, but she did.
Right, because she looks asleep.
She does look that way. It looks like her eyes are closed, right?
Yeah, but those are just her cheeks.
That might be preferable for her, all things considered, but nope. Would they be screwed if anything happened to her?
Like what?
Well, actually they would, because she wouldn't die. She'd turn into a demon, and then that'd be really bad. Also, somewhat of an odd moment here, where this guy looks like you caught him in the act of something, and he claims it's like a calisthenics program, but the sprite work is too vague for me to really tell what it is he was doing. Perverted joke? You decide.
I have no idea.
Not worth thinking about either. Probably not. Anyways, here is our next task. To obtain a mushroom from the top of this mountain. And fortunately, the game will warp you back once you've gotten the mushroom, so unusually generous as far as that goes. Just make sure you remember what kind of mushroom it is, the one with 4 spots. 4 spots. If you don't get that mushroom, you'll go back to the apprentice, he'll tell you it's the wrong one, and you'll have to go through this again.
Man, this game really enjoys, like, sending you in MacGuffin quests.
Yep. Anyways, new enemy. That mushroom thing has a 100% chance of using Dream Breath on the first turn, and it gets progressively lower as the turns proceed until at around turn 5 it just always attacks. So, just auto battle, it's not really a problem.
You'd think sleep would be a little more dangerous in this game, but
I mean, it was in the case of Nympho, but that was just because she was a spellcaster.
yeah.
Also, I could have used Flame Blasts and Fire Spices and all that, but the Bomb Seeds resist it, and while they don't have a lot of HP, I just didn't think the fight was dangerous enough to warrant that expenditure of resources.
Right.
Alright, next new encounter, same as before, just used auto battle. They can cast Fire Breath, but their luck stat isn't high enough for it to be a serious problem. The luck stat being what determines how much damage the Fire and Cold Breath's attacks do.
Right. I like the design. It's like a lion it's like a plant lion.
Indeed. By the way, did I mention that the fire and cold breaths are non-elemental?
No, we never mentioned that.
Well, they are. I mean, there's equipment in the game that resists elements, but they don't help against that fire and cold breath. Also, this Thorn Whip here, this is actually going to be fairly important, because we are going to get Aspara up to level 19 by the time this video is done, and you'll see how. And that Thorn Whip is an important step in that process.
Right, so it's a key item.
Kind of. Like, you don't need it, but there's a certain enemy that gives a lot of experience but tends to run away, and that'll get his attack up to where he can contribute to killing them. Also, here's an enemy that can be dangerous, the two Gangas. They have exactly 256 HP, and have the Quake spell, which will wipe some of the people in your party if they both use it on the same turn. So, if nothing else, you want to make sure you disable one of these guys. Or just kill him if you can't disable him. If you have some spellcasters in your party, they don't have any magic resistance, so you can use Deece's death spell to kill one in one hit. Or you can use Nina or Aspara to drain their AP so they can't cast it that way either, because they only have like 4 AP. So you can just do this.
Right. And something that goes unmentioned, well, that I haven't mentioned yet, is that, well, I like how this game, like, there isn't too much inventory management, right? You have quite a bit of space to work with, and with how many items this game has, that's pretty good.
And actually, that was one of the few things the old translation did better too, because instead of one long list, you had 2 smaller columns. Unfortunately, they had to undo that for this translation to have longer names, but oh well. Now, these guys are probably the most dangerous guys here, because they tend to crit when they hit, and they hit pretty hard, so it's another one of those encounters that could theoretically kill someone if you get unlucky. Fortunately for us, they can also waste their turns by missing or by casting the Defense X spell on themselves. Like that. It just multiplies their defense by 1.2 times, so not a serious problem. Even so, we still want to use some Fire Blasts and Spices on him to mitigate the risks as much as possible. Oh, and they also have no magic resistance, so they're another enemy you could use the Death spell on. Or just use T-Dragon if you're playing that way.
That's fair enough.
And we just run. I love just how quickly that goes if you have initiatives.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just offer you that option to begin with.
Well, you can run, it's just the chances of you running are very low unless you vastly outspeed your enemies and have at least one person dead. In any case, these are the Beckonshrooms who can zombify you, but they're not going to survive long enough for it to make a difference. And they can also use Cure 2 on themselves if one of them enters the round damaged, but again, not going to live long enough for that to make a difference. You could clear them out with fire spells though if you wanted to. In fact, just about everything here is weak to fire, apart from the Gangas and the Atlases.
Right.
Alright, we made it to the correct shroom. Make sure you grab the one to the very right. That is the correct one, the only one. And also smoke. That would be a really useful spell and make it so you don't have to buy more smoke bombs. It's just, since we have the Holy Scarf, it's kind of obviated now.
Right, wait, so you're telling me... Okay, yeah, so you're telling me that you could have picked the wrong mushroom, then you would have to go back there, or does something else happen?
I think you have to go back there. I don't remember for certain, but I guarantee you the game would probably have you go all the way back.
But why would I even do that?
To make sure you're paying attention, I guess. He shows you what the right mushroom is. It's just up to you to remember.
Oh, that's what that is, okay.
Alright, so just for now, we're gonna swap out Rand for Aspara. And we're gonna give Aspara the Thorn Whip and equip our 5 Courage Belts are as needed. Because for this next dungeon, we want to be either under 99 attack or somewhere in the range of 120 attack or so, due to the mid versus high damage formulas I was telling you about. And getting that Thorn Whip will get Aspara very close to that ideal range. Because there are some 0 defense enemies that we're gonna fight now that give a lot, and I mean a lot, of experience, but they tend to run away, so we want to make sure we get everything out of this queen that we can.
Fair enough. So I imagine we'll fight the demons that are possessing her.
Yep. And also, that magic mirror will be a temporary item in your inventory that you can use to exit her whenever you want. Something I should have taken advantage of at least once, but we'll get to that as it becomes pertinent. And yeah, ready as I'll ever be was the dialogue option there. Love it.
Fair enough.
Alright, so basically you have to fight 28 battles here in different rooms. 14 battles in what I call the red rooms, and 14 battles in what I call the blue rooms. You want to make sure you fight the 14 battles in the red rooms first, because the blue rooms are the ones that contain those enemies that give obscene amounts of experience but run away. These red rooms, they have the Pepshuns, which are weak to fire, and then they have the Leukocytes and the Hemogluttons, which basically just go down to basic melee attacks. The Leukocytes can be a bit of a problem because they hit relatively hard. You want to make sure you prioritize them first. But the Hemogluttons are basically just the most worthless enemies ever, so you don't have to worry too much about them.
Right, and I imagine that we are inside of the queen, like in her stomach or something?
Yup.
Really?
Yeah. And as you can see, even without getting to those big enemies I mentioned, we're already getting a lot of experience. I want you to see just how high that experience counter climbs in this part alone. It is ridiculous. Also make sure you fire blast groups with Pepshuns in them. I think they can heal.
Right, well I thought we would fight like a big demon for this, but maybe this is the build-up for that.
No, you just do this.
Really? So we just grind on enemies?
Basically. It's weird, because this whole section of the game, if you look at the game's code, the dialogue for it is kind of tucked all the way back at the very end, whereas most of the game's story comes sequentially through the dialogue banks. So it seems like the game designers were testing, and at some point they realized that you don't level up fast enough for the end game, so they just threw this whole section in here to just ratchet up your levels to the stratosphere. Odd, but I'm not gonna complain.
Well, I mean it works, right? So it's something.
Yeah. And you even have a pretty decent chance of getting stat boosters, too.
And I'm surprised the queen is, you know, she's walling out while we're blasting her with Fire Blast.
Well, just think of it like a scab healing up. the reason it hurts so much is because there are little guys in your body just blasting the wounds in order to close it.
Yeah, but in that case, wouldn't you... like, she'd just be dead.
Well, anyways, these are the guys we want to kill. Because they give, like, 6,500 experience apiece, but have a 37% chance of running away. And they have 0 defense, so these are why you want either below 99 attack or above 120 or so. And they're also one of the game's other bugs, because they're supposed to only have a 12% chance of running on turn 1, like a 25% chance of running on turn 2, and then it caps at around 37% at turn 4. But the programmers, I don't remember how Nitrodon explained it, but it's something to where it was capped in the wrong direction, so instead they just always have 37% until turn 4, and then they just automatically run on turn 5 and onward. Because sometimes you get fights like that where all of them just run away before you can move.
Right. Although, what I was thinking is that couldn't you just, like, leave the room and come back and then just try to fight them again? Or is that like a timer or something?
No. Once they run, the battle is ended. You can't fight them again.
Right.
There is, however, one thing I should have done. Aspara learned Warp, right?
Yeah.
So, what I'm kicking myself for, what I'm really kicking myself for, is that I didn't use the magic mirror to exit, and then swap out Rand for Aspara, because now Aspara's learned what he needed to learn, and I could have gotten an extra level for Rand, which would have been great for the solo fights coming up in like 2 to 3 episodes from now. Not a huge mistake, but enough to make me cringe. What doesn't make me cringe is the experience counter. Look at that, Skyzo, just look at that.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience.
Yeah, we got twice as much experience from this place combined than we did from the entire rest of the game up until now, including the experience we got from Mount Maori enemies.
Right, so I'm guessing that he's gonna fix her.
Yup. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I don't mind being a bit underleveled at the beginning, because I just know that my levels are gonna skyrocket to oblivion once we get here.
Right. Well, it sure is convenient that there is an old man who can fix her problems.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like he can't get her to the exact right shape. Now she's super duper thin instead. Bummer.
What's better than being dead?
Yeah. And she is grateful for it. I think she even says something like, "Whew, gratitude. I didn't know I had such a thing, but thank you."
That's a little funny.
And also, Gedd, his banishment is over.
Wait, is this old man like the former king or something?
No, he was just a diet magician that was helpful to have on hand. It's just he made so much of a nuisance of himself that he got banished anyway.
Oh, okay.
Also, there's a funny bit of flavor text that I forgot to show off. If you ask Gedd about something after this whole conversation is done, he'll realize he's forgetting something, but he can't think of what, and it's his assistant back on the island who is just sitting there. So that's all really funny, it's just I forgot. Oh no. Skyzo, the chest is empty.
So, what was supposed to be in here?
A therapy pillow? The thing we worked so hard for all this time? The way we're supposed to solve this whole problem? Ah! Oh. Oh. Okay, she just had the therapy pillow. Never mind, false alarm.
But, wait, so what would happen if you just missed her?
You wouldn't get the therapy pillow. You'd have to talk to everyone until you got it. Gotta admit, though, that was a nice troll, huh?
Wow, that is very good game design.
I think the game designers were having a laugh with that one. It's like they knew. They knew they were sending you on fetch quests. So they made you think they were gonna have another one lined up when actually it's just right there. Anyways, this has been Fiona Day Cluster signing out. Have a nice day, everyone, and God bless you.
Catch you later, YouTube.
Bye!